Something else I'm questioning superficially. I'm wondering, in the ethical non-monogamous community, do you find people, and this is about accountability as well, also, are people in better shape? Do you find like typically people in better shape? Because like comically, I'm thinking like, if you know that you're going to be having sex with more people and you're going to be naked around more people,
Yeah.
not to mention if you're going to public sex clubs and that
Yeah.
whole other
Yeah.
different layer. Whereas like there's all the tropes about like, once a man or a woman gets married, they just fucking let themselves go
Right.
because listen, this person stood up in front of their friends and family. They signed a document. We've got 2 kids. They're not going anywhere past the
Right.
pizza. So I'm just curious, in the community, if people just happen to be in better shape, or no, it's still the same.
I'm going to say yes, with caveats that
Okay.
it is still similar to the general population that you have people at all levels of fitness, let's say, if we want,
Right.
or attractiveness.
Yeah.
However, you are going to find more people taking better care of themselves for all the reasons that you say. And that is actually a really interesting dynamic when people first get into, I'm going to say swinging, especially because I had this conversation with a polyamorous friend of mine the other day, and he says that this is kind of an internal joke for the polyamorous, that you can tell when someone's a swinger because they're in like uber shape. They're like not just fit, but they're like super fit. And I was like, that's
Right.
actually really funny to me. But the but the attractiveness level and whatever, you're going to find the whole range. Like, this is another idea that people think they can pick out who swingers are in the in the real world. Like, we joke about that. Like, if we see a really super fit couple, we'll be like, "Do you think they're swingers?" But like, there's really no way to tell. And I think
Okay.
another misconception about the swinging and polyamorous is that we are like counterculture in some way because we are living these alternative lifestyles. But it's actually like, you can just pull from like the general population. You have every political belief, every economic status, every, you know what I mean? It's like all the
Yeah.
things in its own little world. And yes, probably there are more fit people, especially maybe in the swinger community. And oh, sorry, I started to say, and I'll finish the thought, that sometimes when people get into it, that is definitely something like, oh, I got to get to the gym and whatever. And some people will take a little, especially men, like people typically, and I think this is changing, but get into swinging between, like, let's say 35 and 55. So maybe they have let themselves go a little bit. And I would say that's more true for men than women in general.
Right.
And so men will either see that for themselves and get themselves to the gym, or their confidence will take a little hit because they're like, everyone's really attracted to my wife, but they're not really attracted to me. And then it's like, yeah, well, maybe go to the gym, get a haircut. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. And that's not just about physical appearance by any means, because like when we talked about human connection, that happens on all kinds of levels. But
Right.
also, you want to feel your most confident. And so a lot of people do end up going to the gym more and whatever.
Yeah. I imagine you want to make it a fair trade here on that swinging night. You don't want to be the grenade
Yeah.
for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of built in accountability for, I guess, for a lot of things. But that is really, really interesting, because I didn't expect to come away with the idea that it builds in a level of accountability to a relationship that otherwise isn't there. Because and obviously I'm curious, but joking mostly about the looks part.